All right, guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another championship show. Although people might have forgotten that the championship show exists, Adam, largely down to the fact that I am a lazy man. But yeah, Adam's been on at me for ages. We've got to get a championship show. We've got to get a championship show. I was like, right, we'll do it. I'll do it. And I promise right now that the lack of championship shows hasn't coincided with Dunfermline being pished. Not deliberately, anyway. People might think I was hiding. Trust me. It's definitely not the case. But Adam, nice to see you. You've Hearts have started winning games of football again. It's bizarre.
It's a miracle, isn't it? Likewise, it's it is. I'm chuffed to be back, and now it's more relief that that Hearts are back where we belong, if you like. So yeah, no, it's I don't even think it's joy after the weekend. I think it's more just everybody took a collective sigh kind of on Saturday afternoon, like, thank God that is finished.
Yeah, I was down at Somerset for the Dunfermline Ayr game, and literally until I got home that night, I didn't even know Hearts had won the league. It just like it didn't really, it wasn't really a thing. It was just a formality, wasn't it? But yeah, it's well, we've got 3 match days to go, and it's really nitty gritty time. The title's done. Obviously, Hearts are up as everyone expected, but apart from that, pretty much everyone has something to play for. It's absolutely bizarre, bar maybe Alloa, who we'll talk about. But I mean, from 9th to 2nd, there's lots to play for. We're not going to talk too much about last Saturday because it's been and gone now. But also last Saturday, fuck all changed anyway because it was just draws everywhere. Everyone left the grounds on Saturday with things exactly as they started. Maybe a couple of changes to goal difference, or not even goal difference. Goals scored and because it was draws, so nothing changed. What was even the point in last Saturday? But last night it was a couple of games of the championship. Oh, dear me. I mean, we might as well start with Dunfermline Dundee. I don't know if you watched the telly. I was at East End last night, so I sadly had to sit through 90 minutes of that guff that was on show. Did you watch it?
I missed it, mate. But to be honest, from a neutral's perspective, I was
No,
certainly
you didn't miss it.
more.
You missed fuck all.
Well, I was expecting more given the 3-2 at Dens, a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, and then the 3-3 in Dens back in November. So there's normally goals in that game.
Shocking. Could not believe it. I mean, what's happened to the Pars, mate? I feel like you have to vent now.
Listen, I've it's not even anger, it's just sadness at this point. There's a real sense of apathy among some of the film fans now, which is a really sad thing. And a lot of that comes from, I think a lot of clubs have seen it this season. You'll see it yourself, Hearts fans. Not being in the ground is kind of taken away a lot of people's even like motivation to vent and be angry. Normally, if we were in the grounds just now, everyone would be absolutely raging, but people are just kind of really downbeat about everything. But Dunfermline, I don't even know where to start. We obviously had the horror show against Rovers after the capitulation at Dens. Then you played very well against you lot. Actually, I was really happy with the performance. Should have won. Didn't win. 0-0, which has become our favourite scoreline. Then we draw 0-0 at Ayr, which was just meh. 0-0 last night. Didn't deserve a point last night, if I'm honest. Dundee should have taken all 3. And we've gone from being like dead certs for the playoffs, pretty much all the way through the season. They'll probably finish the playoffs, absolutely. Listen, they're not quite good enough challenge Hearts, but they'll get the playoffs. And I honestly was so confident we'd make top 4. Just could not foresee a world in which we wouldn't. And now we've got 3 games left, and it is no longer in our hands in terms of the top 4. And everyone's saying, well,
we second for a good wee while as well. It seems
this is the thing. It comes down to how bad the league is. The fact that we are still in contention is scandalous because we should be nowhere near. If this was a 36-game season, I would be worried about us getting relegated. That's how bad it has got. Because everyone's saying to me, "Oh, but Dunfermline, look at the running. They've got three decent games to end the season." And if you can't win a game of football, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. We don't know how to win games, and it's all good, Stevie Crawford said last night he was happy with a clean sheet. I mean, it's too late for just draws. They're not enough anymore.
They named an attacking lineup from what I saw. I mean, Kevin O'Hara, Declan McManus, Dom Thomas, and Craig Whiten all starting.
Well, Craig Whiten has come into Dunfermline and he's been the one positive since January. He's been really good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's 4 or 5 he's on now. Anyway, he scored a lot of goals since he came in. Looks really threatening. Misses out in the Hearts game because obviously he's still technically on loan. Then he doesn't come back into the team against Ayr, which I think was strange. And he comes in last night thinking, right, probably Whiten up top, maybe O'Hara from the right. And he sticks Craig Whiten in the right wing. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Whiten didn't really have a kick last night. And it wasn't his fault. Why you've got your most informed striker playing on the right wing when you're desperate for wins and goals, I have no idea. So, yeah, I mean, and now we're at a position, we haven't won a game of football. We've won 4 since we beat you lot in November. We've won 4 games. We went top of the league that night, and since then we've only won 4 games. And we've got to win 3 in the last 3. I can't see us finishing in the top 4 now. But And also Inverness hitting form at the right time has not helped either. But we don't deserve to finish in the top 4. We really don't. And it annoys me because the squad for me is still more than good enough, and it should be doing better. And sadly, there's only one man that's responsible for that, and that's Stevie Crawford. Sadly.
I was going to say, even with the January additions, because since those wins, it's been kind of Scott Banks, Ewan Henderson, I think, is a top young talent. Yeah. Obviously, Whiting, as we've mentioned. It seemed as though they were kind of the additions to sort of secure that playoff position, and it's been anything but. Which is, listen, it's sad to see, obviously, given you're the main man on here, but I can't work it out with the Pars. It seems as though maybe Stevie Crawford's just been listening to Robbie too much. Maybe this is what it is.
I don't know. And the thing is, the Stevie Crawford thing is, I've been so positive all season long and backed him, and I would love him to be the man that put Dunfermline back in the Premiership. There's an attachment there as a former player. But it's just after the Rovers game, especially, I don't know how you back. You can continue to back him. To get beat 5-1 off your rivals is not acceptable for any club. You know, I think the only manager in history who could get away with that sort of thing was Sir Alex Ferguson when he got beat 6-1 off City. No one else has got the credit in the bank to get away with stuff like that. So if you have that bad result, which people turned at that point, combined with not finishing the top 4, I think he's in a difficult position. But anyway, we'll move on to Dundee a little bit, because in terms of last night, Dundee they're going to finish in the top 4. I think that's pretty straightforward now. Should have won last night. Didn't take the chances. James McPake again, still flattering to deceive a little bit on the whole with the squad he's got there, Adam.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I think I don't want to say that his need to get promoted is greater than the others, but I just think with the money that they've chucked at it, it probably is. And particularly in the summer, given obviously they were talking about being the kind of main contenders to Hearts. So the fact that they're 12 points behind Hearts, 2 behind newly promoted Raith Rovers, simply isn't good enough. And to be honest, their pressure is far greater than either Inverness's or Raith for me, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, last season, everyone was listening. I think everyone is still absolutely amazed that James McPake is in that job based on last season failing to get anywhere near United, taking hammerings off them in the derby. Again, he seems to find a little bit of form as soon as it looks like he's doomed, and he's done that since the turn of the year. It's a bit strange that since Charlie Adams dropped out the team, they've kind of picked up a little bit. I think last night was like the first time in 16 or 17 games they hadn't scored. So that was what James McPake said post-match. I haven't actually fact-checked that. But yeah, I mean, they just missed their chance last night. Last night would have absolutely sealed the top 4 for them. Now there's still a little bit of doubt. You know, they play Inverness on Tuesday night, which will be a tasty encounter. But I think if you're a Dundee fan, you need, at this stage of the season, even if you do finish the playoffs, you need more that's going to give you a bit of hope that you're going to be good enough to go up if you do get the playoffs. And that's something I said last night in the match report, was neither of those two teams are good enough to go up for me. They played last night, and it's just there's so many teams in the Championship this season that are just so meh. Like, no one's, I've said it so many times, not really hardly any supporters are happy, apart from maybe Rovers. Everyone's just moaning constantly, and it's just the way this league has just become like, who's going to be worse? You know, it's mental. So yeah, I mean, a point didn't really do either favours, but I suppose for Dundee, a defeat probably would have been catastrophic. That would have given Dunfermline a bit of a boost, but neither have got it. We go into Saturday, obviously Dunfermline play Queens, which we'll come on to, but Raith Rovers winning it as well last night. I think it was Gozi Ugu that got the goal down at Palmerston, so that was a big result for Rovers. I think if you're Alan Johnston, you're thinking, right, if we can win tonight against Raith, God, we're right in the hunt. But Raith now seem to, you know, I'd be pretty confident in saying they've secured second spot now.
That makes two of us. Totally agree. I think they just seem to have goals from all angles, really. Everybody seems to be able to contribute, and touched on previously on here, sort of their attacking options. I just really like what John McGlynn's doing. That being said, I'm left underwhelmed by the pre-contracts that he's dishing out, to be honest. But it's funny, obviously, Regan Hendry, I see virtually any tweet that he puts out and it's sign that contract. So be interested to see.
I'd be amazed if he's still there next season.
I was going to say exactly that. I'll be very shocked if he's not Premiership bound. But I mean, Rovers should secure second. And do you know, I think in the playoffs, it's a case of nobody really expected us to be here. Let's just have fun. You know,
very much got Livingston vibes to it, hasn't it? It'll be Livy winning the playoffs.
There's no expectation whatsoever. So whatever happens. Que sera, sera.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pre-contracts. You're right. They're very much Championship pre-contracts. They're not.
Absolutely.
They're definitely not Premiership pre-contracts. Even like I'm saying Championship, you've got Dario Zanata, who's never really hit the head, certainly not recently done well in the Championship.
Looked really promising when he came through at Hearts as well.
Yeah, and I think he did well. He did okay at Alloa, and then Sicily didn't do very well. He's not done great at Ayr this season. So, even that for the Championship's a little bit of a gamble. You've got Tom Lang, who's come in from, he was at Dunfermline, then went to Clyde, back to Clyde, and now he's coming in at Rovers. Hasn't been able to get a game in the Championship, so it's another bit of a gamble. So, yeah, and Christoph Berra as well. I mean, I think the performances this season would suggest that maybe the Championship is probably just about Christoph Berra's level.
I'm amazed that he's managed to secure another second-tier club, to be honest. And that's nothing against Berra. I absolutely love Christoph Berra. Always have, always will. But I think out of the Rovers' pre-contracts, Lang's probably the pick of the quartet, if you like, which sort of speaks volumes, to be honest.
It's a tough one. I think, listen, if anyone, I wouldn't be... Raith are the only team that I think have got a chance of going up through the playoffs, because I just think they play such a different style of football that they're kind of not easy to, as you say, they've got goals from everywhere. Goziugu hasn't played an awful lot of football last night, and he gets a vital goal, this season, and he gets a vital goal for them last night. The midfield is so strong. The thing was with John McGlynn, he's got to take all the credit for this, because they're so well coached. You watch them like a well-oiled machine. Some of the goals they score, I mean, granted, Dunfermline were hopeless in that derby, but Rovers absolutely picked them apart. It was a joy to watch some of it. A joy to watch for the neutral, should I say. It was not a joy to watch for me.
It was thoroughly enjoyable. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, I mean, Queen's, looking at the league table, Saturday's still a massive game for Queen of the South. They still might have a chance at the top four if they win on Saturday. I suppose we better transition straight into that game, because it probably is. I'm trying to look at the fixtures for this weekend.
It's probably the pick of the bunch.
Yeah. Well, actually, Arbroath Ayr could be tasty, but we'll come to that. The Dunfermline Queen of the South, 12 o'clock kickoffs these. I'll be at East End Park on Saturday. I'll need to bring my breakfast with me, because this is just scandalous. So it's an absolute must-win for both if they've got playoff ambitions. It's going to be an interesting game, guaranteed to finish 0-0. But I don't have any confidence we'll beat Queen of the South. Absolutely none. We did all right against them down at Palmerston and got beat. We beat them at home and weren't very good. So as usual with most of the games in the Championship, there's very little between the teams. I don't know what the plan's going to be for Stevie Crawford, how he tries to get a winning formula back into the team. They just seem so out of ideas, and Queens are a really tricky team to come up against, as you can testify to, Adam.
I certainly can. Listen, it's got all the makings for the Alan Johnston factor as well to come back and haunt the Pars, but I just think it's a must-win for Queens in terms of their playoff ambitions. I think, should they not pick up the 3 points, I'd safely assume that it's done. And obviously, there'll be eyes on Inverness, Dundee. I think it is on Tuesday night, isn't it? So that's another big game for the
thing is, Queens absolutely need 9 points. 7 might be enough for Dunfermline, depending on other results. But the thing is, now we need to rely on others. But you're right, Queens absolutely have to win. They've got so many attacking threats. Obalai, Connor Shields have been in great form. 2 who I think will be catching the eye of clubs in the summer. I'm just not looking forward to it at all. Can't see it being exciting. It's mental. I was saying this last night. So Dunfermline had 4 games left. 6 o'clock kickoff, 12 o'clock kickoff, 3 o'clock kickoff, 7:45 kickoff. It's just all gone a bit mad towards the end of the season. I think if Dunfermline will win, they have to play Craig Whiten up front. This business of playing him in the wing is just ridiculous. I didn't understand it. I don't know. One thing I will say for Stevie Crawford, Dunfermline carrying a lot of injuries. Stephen Whittaker's playing with an injury just now. Ian Wilson's been playing with an injury for weeks and has kind of found himself not being able to play now. Paul Watson's injured. Ryan Dow's a massive miss. But again, the squad, there's the reason you have a big squad, and it's still more than good enough, or it should be. So, score prediction, Adam.
I'm probably going to say, just due to them both needing to win, they'll probably cancel one another out, maybe a 1-1 draw.
It's going to be 0-0. It's going to be 0-0. It's going to be 0-0 or 2-0 to Queens. I honestly don't know where the goals are going to come from. I don't know who's going to score a goal. Never mind or who's going to create a chance. Ewan Henderson looks likely in terms of creating chances, but he's playing in a midfield too just now. He played with Whittaker last night. Whittaker's not got the legs to get about, and Henderson's too lightweight to play in a midfield too in the Championship. Fantastic technical player.
Banks? Was he on
Scott
the bench
Banks, another one injured, so
oh.
it's adding to it. But again, I like Scott Banks, but if he just knew how to finish, would have beaten you a lot at East End. So
could not believe that chance he passed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see Dunfermline winning. I honestly can't. And typical me would be predicting a win and would get beat. So I'm going to predict a defeat and hope that they get.
I like it.
Beat. So I think I'm going to say 2-0 Queens.
Okay.
That's what this club have done to me, Adam.
Listen, mate, it's tough times.
If I get the commentary gig again this weekend, I'll be crying live on air.
That's not what we want to hear.
No. Well, no. Some people might want to hear that. They get clipped. Anyway, so 1-1. You're saying I'm saying 2-0 to Queens, right? Let's move on to Alloa Raith, which it's not well. It's as close as a dead rubber is going to get. Well, actually, it's not. If Alloa don't win, they go down. So there's that. A win for Rovers, I think, would you'd be hard pressed.
Second,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. So yeah, I mean, I feel so sorry for Alloa because I just don't. I look at the league table. Every time I watch them, I think they're a really decent side. And if Dunfermline playing Alloa this weekend, I would tip Alloa to beat them. Honest to God. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for Alloa going down. It's inevitable now. There's no way they're going to win all their games and then rely on Morton or Raith or Ayr being hopeless. Sad to see them go if they do go, Adam, though. Well, actually, no. That'll be them taking their medicine, won't it?
No comment.
No comment.
No, I mean, listen, Friday night, I was actually encouraged by how they came out, to be honest. Obviously, with that point to prove and fighting for their lives as such, but can't pass up as many chances as they did, even if they are sort of half opportunities. And it just, perhaps it's just the story of their season. I think, had they perhaps signed Innes Cameron at the start of the season as opposed to in January, they maybe had a fighting chance. He seems to be the kind of talisman that's contributed to goals and points here and there, but I think it's just a case of too little too late for Alloa. And to be honest, I mean, defensively, wow. They're struggling. I mean, not great.
Graham's not the player he was. He's certainly looking a bit past it now. They lost Robbie Dees in the summer. Robbie Dees was unbelievable for them last season.
He's in Inverness, isn't he?
Yeah. So he was a big miss. I don't know. I just think they play nice football and they've had such a good go off it in the Championship. They've been punching above their weight for ages now. And listen, providing they keep a few of that squad together and make some smart additions, they might go again. I don't know what this means for Peter Grant. There was a few rumours that he might be joining Eddie Howe at Celtic, but that's all gone very quiet. So I don't know. We'll see. But I can't see Alloa. I think this will be definitely the day that Alloa go down, and I'd imagine Rovers are going to win this.
What I will say as well, mate, if Peter Grant does leave, I think you need to only look at previous managers that have taken the Alloa gig, and it's a very attractive job for.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a rookie manager, but someone needed to gain that experience. I can think of three off the top of my head, and Jack Ross, Paul Hartley, and Jim Goodwin, all of which have had the Alloa gig first and foremost, then gone on to bigger and better things. So, League One will be a tricky division, don't get me wrong, because I think Thistle may well stay down there, probably spend big in the summer. And yeah, it just the Queen's Park, obviously, you'll have coming up from League Two. So it certainly won't be an easy bounce back, but Alloa should be among the contenders for League One in my eyes next season.
Yeah, so I do think, I agree. And I think that Peter Grant has, although he's going to get relegated this season, I still think he's done a decent job there in his time there. Listen, if he does get that gig at Celtic, he'll be absolutely laughing. I was wondering what the connection was. Apparently him and Eddie Howe played together back in the day, so I didn't know that.
Well, and obviously, sorry, you mean between Peter Grant and Eddie Howe as opposed to... right, okay, yeah.
Obviously Peter Grant played for Celtic, yeah.
I was going to say.
So yeah, that'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, this will be the weekend that they go down. I think Raith will win it.
Biggest match of the weekend for me. Rovers at the end of the drill, I've got to say.
Yeah, I can't see anything other than Rovers winning that. I think it'll be a good couple of goals in there as well for them, and it will propel them onto second spot. I'm going to go with 3-1 to Rovers.
Well, I was going to decide because I was stuck between two score lines for a 2-goal margin, so I'll say 0-2.
0-2. Okay, interesting. Right, let's move on to a game that maybe could be the tastiest game of the weekend, actually, now that I think about it. Arbroath against Ayr United, two teams who are having not the best of seasons, and it's a very tasty game in terms of the battle to avoid that playoff spot down the bottom. Just looking at it currently, you've got Morton who are in 9th on 26, Arbroath in 8th on 26, and Ayr in 7th on 27. So it's as close to probably a must not lose for both in terms of the way the table goes. But if one of these, whoever gets the win in this, will condemn the other team to be in a bit of trouble. It's a real 6-pointer. I watched Ayr last weekend. I thought Ayr were probably better than Dunfermline in the second half. It was very much vintage David Hopkin ball, though. There wasn't an awful lot of enjoyable action on show. It was very much keep it nice and solid and then counter. They played 5 at the back. they'll probably go up to Gayfield and do the same because away from home it's kind of easier to do that. I don't imagine this is going to be a pretty game of football. I think if I had to back, the idea that Ayr have got a chance to go down to me is mental when you think about how good they've done over the last couple of years. I fancy Arbroath though at home. I really do.
I wouldn't disagree, mate. I think, there's one win in the last 8 fixtures combined. One win in Arbroath's last 4. Ayr winless in 4. I think it sounds daft to say, but even in terms of recent form, although it's terrible form, you may have to just back Arbroath. And like at home, like you say, I mean, it should be dull. I've got to be honest, David Hopkin at Ayr, I've watched obviously Ayr at Tiny and was impressed by sort of limiting us to few opportunities and then us eventually making the breakthrough in the 70th minute. And then I thought Ayr would really kick on and sort of pick up points here and there as a result. Obviously knocked out the cup by Clyde as well, which is an absolute shocker. So obviously they have now got bigger fish to fry with the league. And listen, I think should they pick up a point, they'd probably take it. But I think Arbroath will look at it as maybe should they nick all 3, like you say, that probably is potentially just enough to secure their safety. But we just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that Arbroath are lucky they had that period of form when it was coincided when Jack Hamilton first signed for them. It was January, February, Dick Campbell got manager a month in, but they had that run of form, and that might have saved them from being down with Alloa. I mean, God Almighty! You mentioned David Hopkin making them hard to beat and all the rest of it, and that is what he gives you, and I get that. But I think of Ayr United sort of that I've seen over the last 5, 6, 7 years, they're always an entertaining team to watch. We've played decent enough football. They always score goals. And now I'm looking at it and I don't know where the goals are going to come from, to be perfectly honest, for Ayr. Oh, it's just, this is going to be a really, really interesting battle, this battle for, to avoid the playoff down the bottom. But I think at home Arbroath will nick it. And I think it'll be 2-1 to Arbroath.
I'll go 1-0 Arbroath.
Nice.
Can't disagree.
Right, so let's move on to Tuesday. We'll start with your mob, shall we? Because the big game Tuesday is probably up at Inverness. What's even the point in this game for Hearts? You looking forward to it?
No.
But this is the thing. Like, do you think Robbie Nielsen will try anything different? Do you think he'll be giving boys a run out who are maybe playing for their futures at Hearts? Like, they were obviously a wounded animal last week when they played Alloa. I don't think we really saw that at East End, but there seems to have been a slight upturn.
I mean, listen, if you want to catch all my Hearts frustrations, just head over to Perth to Paisley. That being said, it's amazing what happens when we find a formation that suits the personnel available. We actually play players in their correct position. Granted, it's against, bottom of the league, Alloa.
I have to say, it was nice of Big Vitas Gathuritis let Liam Boyce hit the back pocket for that game, because I thought he was still in there.
Was very impressed by him at East End. I'll give you that, mate. But no, I mean, Liam Boyce obviously had his child, and then lo and behold, bags a hat trick. So we're just hoping that he can impregnate his wife on numerous occasions.
What was this? Was there not some script with that in terms of like that he's had a kid before and then like scored a hat trick or something like that?
Yeah, for County a couple years back, and then obviously did so again for us against.
So you're waiting a minimum of 9 months to get my hat trick.
Yeah, listen, I mean,
that might help you in your relegation battle next year.
If he starts now, surely then we'll have a first round of Premiership fixtures, so that might be enough to keep Robbie in a job by then. We'll wait and see. But no, I mean, like you say, mate, pretty pointless fixture. I think Hearts fans are just looking at it as a case of we've got 270 minutes left, 4.5 hours left of this division.
Get it done.
Get it done. Let the rebuild commence. Yet another rebuild.
Love a rebuild.
I love a rebuild. I mean, 97 players in the Budge era alone. So it's a good laugh, mate. Honestly, this is ironic because you said to me about Morton being the comedy club of the Championship. Arguably, they're up against the Yo-Yo Comedy Club at present. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, ever since I said that to you, you've been sending me Morton things that they've done and said that I just laugh. This is mad, though. So Hearts are, I mean, amongst the fans, they just want the games to be over. Morton are fighting for survival. I think the game 1-0 last game at Capello between the two. I think I'm right in saying Walker scored.
Walker scored a brace at Capello 2-0. We drew 1-1 at Tiny.
Right, okay. So it's an interesting one because I've been saying to people that everyone's going, oh, well, Hearts will just, the teams will beat them there because Hearts play for nothing. But I think Hearts are, you've got players there playing for contracts. You've got Nielsen playing at the fans back on side. So for the players' perspective, there's probably something to play for. You're not convinced, I can see that. But I mean, Morton are scrapping for the lives. It's the sort of game that I can see Morton nicking something just because they tend to do that. Capo's never nice. I don't know if Nielsen can deal with another bad result, though.
We're also on the box as well, mate, so there's every chance.
Oh, right, okay.
I found it convenient that we switch over to iPlayer on Friday night and all of a sudden grind out a 6-0 win. So that was quite something. But
Prince Philip needs a favour.
Absolutely. The fact that it wasn't broadcast on Council Telly as well is a certain favour. But I get the player stance. I think for Robbie, I don't want to say the ship has sailed, but he certainly needs.
Well, it might have sailed in the fans' opinion, but it wouldn't have sailed in Budge's opinion, surely.
No,
So,
that's the worrying thing.
Yeah, if he goes and wins 6-0 again on Tuesday night, he's thinking, right, and Budge is going to be loving this. Do you know what I mean? That's for him. He needs results and performances.
You try to wind me up?
No, listen. This is just it's so clear the disconnect between Budge and the Hearts supporters. I was listening to Off the Ball on Saturday, and your stadium announcer was on.
Scott Wilson.
Yes,
top man.
He was he didn't give too much away because obviously he's an employee of the club, but there's very much a serious disconnect there. But Anne Budge, I think, is going to back our man if he keeps doing what his expectations are. So we'll see. I think Hearts will win this, but I think it'll be very, very, very not pretty. I think they'll win it 2-1, and Morton are going to, they're not in a good way.
Like you say, it's such a meaningless fixture. A classic 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. That's
nice,
a good result for Morton.
And boring. Listen, it's a decent point, and if they're looking at it, they probably could have and should have nicked all three at Tynecastle as well. I thought we were absolutely terrible that day.
Yeah.
Before Jamie Walker bailed us out off the bench. So
this is really interesting because it's actually quite a cool split having these games on Tuesday night, because Morton will be thinking about whatever happens at Arbroath and Ayr. I don't know what they'll prefer, whether it'll be a draw or whether it'll be one of them just getting beat. So it might change their mindset a little bit. And I might be, because that's a good point into the next game. Inverness against Dundee. Again, if say Dunfermline get beat on Saturday for Inverness, I don't know if that'll change how they set up for this game. I don't know what's going to happen here. From a Dunfermline point of view, I'm praying Dundee win it, because Inverness are going to be the team to get fourth, I think. Inverness at home, I mean, Neil McCann's done a wonderful job there. And listen, I'm not having it that anybody thought he was going to do this when he went in up there. Everyone went, well, he's been a disaster at Dundee and it's just going to be a nightmare. But fair play to the guy, he's absolutely done it. And imagine the scenes, right? If Neil McCann hands over the reins to John Robertson and he's taking Inverness to the Premiership. Could you imagine that?
Well, particularly when it could come with a relegation playoff win over Ross County, which is a real possibility as well. So, yeah, I mean, the last episode, I think Neil McCann had just come in at Inverness, and there was
good times. We were probably still second at that point.
Between the pair of us, we were sort of talking about what happens if he comes in and they just go on this mad run. And ultimately,
they've done it.
That has transpired. So it is a bizarre situation. I think I'm just really impressed with Inverness's recent form, and Scott Allen as well. Top addition for this league. I know it's obviously him regaining full fitness, but you're not telling me that a queue of Premiership clubs would have taken Scott Allen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Given the chance. So
it's also like Daniel Mackay's been unbelievable recently. He's a really good young player. He's coming to a form. And the thing is about the squad at Inverness, we said it, there's loads of good young players there. Neil McCann's got Nikolai Todorov scoring goals, which I didn't think was
as a minor miracle.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a thing. So I mean, he's done that. Fair play to the guy. I don't know if he's still very much the opinion publicly that he's leaving when John Robertson's ready to come back, which is obviously the way it should be. But for Neil McCann, no matter what happens, even if he misses out on fourth now, his stock as a manager has now risen to the point that, when a club in the Championship now needs a manager, he will be a name that is linked again, which I think before this, his stock was not that high at all.
Would he drop down to maybe take the Alloa gig, potentially? I
mean, as you mentioned, for Jim Goodwin and Jack Ross and Paul Hartley, it did wonders. So, I mean, maybe. It just depends how they do financially, dropping down. I'll tell you right now, if Stevie Crawford leaves, Neil McCann will get linked to that job 100%. There'll be some film fans that want Neil McCann to get the job.
Do you take him?
There isn't a vacancy, so I'm not going to talk about that just now. Come back to me when there's a vacancy. it's mental. Like there's a thread in the Dunfermline forum just now, just titled Daniel Stendhal. I opened the forum and I just closed it as soon as I seen that. It's fucking.
Well, I had Cammy Anderson come on Perth to Paisley discussing the Dunfermline match, and he was all aboard this kind of with the German owners as such.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
I think the Dunfermline's next manager will be a German. I'm convinced. I'm convinced it'll be a German. I don't think it'll be Stendhal though, because we don't have the money for that. He'll be on a. I mean, Hearts had to pay a lot of money to get Daniel Stendhal.
Yeah, well, and obviously, I think the Portsmouth gig as well came up, and Stendhal was heavily linked with that before Danny Cowley got it, I think. So, and
Portsmouth are paying a lot more than Dunfermline for a manager's gig for me. So, again, there's no vacancy to talk about, so it's fine. But yeah, it will definitely be a German manager next, I'm convinced. But anyway, moving on. Where the hell was I? I'm completely lost. And did we give a prediction for? We're talking about ICT Dundee. We've not even fucking talked about Dundee yet.
No, we haven't. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know where to go with this. I really hope Dundee do a favour for me. I have to say that they looked like a decent team on... Oh, did they? Or maybe I'm making that up. Maybe we just looked so bad. Dundee are definitely going to finish the playoffs. They need some performances now in terms of showing the manager and showing the fans that they've got enough to go up if they get the playoffs. I think Dundee are going to take all 3 points. There you go. Said it.
Wow. I thought that Dundee were the league's entertainers, but it seems the last few fixtures, obviously that Morton draw, the 0-0 stalemate against you guys. I don't know what to expect with Dundee. They're just such a mixed bag. It's actually crazy. And like you say...
They shouldn't be, though. The quality they've got.
No. And this is why the McPake debate arises time after time.
McPake debate. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I know. Listen, I was struggling with the once. But Inverness, I can't go against them given their recent run. I've got to be honest, mate. Which would certainly heat things up.
I'm going to go 2-1 Dundee. There you go.
I'm going 2-1 Inverness.
Dear me. This is not going to be fun. So that's the fixtures over the next few weeks previewed. Next few days. And then we'll have, what have we got then? Then we do Saturday, Tuesday again, is it? Because then, no, let me think about this. No, next Saturday should be back to normal. All 3 o'clock, I think. Unless there's maybe a game in the telly, which I haven't thought about. And then we've got the week after, which is all Friday night games, which is a complete load of shit, by the way. Just because the BBC want to give you the big farewell. What a load of shit. It's just ridiculous.
Nobody wants this farewell.
I know. Nobody. Who is happy about this decision? There can't be a single person alive who's happy about this. And why everyone else has to play the same time as Hearts, I just do not get it. Hearts will be up and Alloa will be relegated. It means nothing. Deary me.
and Rovers might have already secured second as well, so it really doesn't matter.
Is that game at home, that last game? You don't play. What am I on about? You don't play. You play Rovers. Like we play Alloa. Oh, I'm getting confused now because
we've got Rovers at Starks.
So
we've only got Inverness at Tynecastle.
So it's not even like it's the trophy presentation.
No, and
where do you stand on that? Are you leaving it on the stand?
Well, this is what I was going to touch on with you as well, because I see a lot of talk on Jambo's kickback and obviously the Hearts Twitter kind of bubble, if you like, about us potentially lying down to Inverness.
I'm glad you touched on this because I was just about to touch on this.
In order to ideally put Dundee out the playoff places, but we've just got to hope that your mob continue to get back to winning ways.
Listen, I think as a Dunfermline fan, with some of the accusations that have been fired at Dunfermline by Mr. Chris Sutton back in the day, for me to be talking about lying down is probably not the smartest decision. However, this disgusting relationship you two have is just making me sick. And I tell you now, if I can just see it now, I can just see it. Inverness will beat you a lot. I can see it. It'll be a joke. And then you'll all have a big party with a trophy. It just makes me sick. I'm blaming Hearts. Even if Hearts win, I'm still blaming you lot. Nah. There's been a lot of talk about this happening. Surely not.
Just help out Robbo and
that's another thing you've stirred the pot with. You're helping out Robbo as well.
Why not? And listen, there is nothing I would love more than to see Inverness relegate Ross County after the summer, but we'll not touch on that.
But this is the thing: if there's one bad result Robbie Nielsen will be able to get away with in the last 2 games,
100%.
No one will give a shit if Inverness win that game. Deary me. Right, before we go, let's quickly, with 3 games to go, let's predict our league tables. Let's go 1 through 10. Who's going to finish where? First spot, obviously Hearts, which we know about. Second spot, we're both going to go Raith Rovers.
Yeah.
Third, I think we're both going Dundee. I'm going Dundee.
Yes.
Right, okay. So we're both on Dundee. 4th spot, Adam Kennedy.
Can I just say, I'm not seeing a lot of changes here. I've got to be honest.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Well, I mean, as much as I want Inverness in the playoffs, do I realistically see it happening?
Well, they're in 4th just now.
Potentially. But I just think your fixtures look quite good.
We can't win games of football at all, mate. Okay, so you're going with Dunfermline in 4th?
Do you know what? Just for you and my pals, I'll say that Dunfermline will sneak it into 4th.
Nice. I'm going Inverness in 4th. There we go.
I love that optimism, mate.
Mate, they've given me nothing to be optimistic about. In 5th, I'm going Queen of the South.
Wow. 5th, I'm going ICT.
6th, I'm going Dunfermline.
Queen of the South.
7th, I'm going Arbroath.
So am I.
Oh, wow. 8th, I'm going Ayr United.
So am I.
And in 9th, Morton. And 10th, oh, okay, interesting. So we both think Morton are going to finish the relegation playoffs. You think Inverness? I do. Well, you think Dunfermline going to finish top 4, bizarrely.
Just for you, mate. Top 4. Craig Whiting will single-handedly carry you to that playoff place.
And I think Dunfermline will finish 6th. There we go. That's interesting.
That's reverse psychology from you. I know what you're doing.
Listen, after we get beat off Queens at the weekend, we'll end up. Can we even finish 9th? I haven't checked if it's still possible. I probably should check.
7 points. So no, you need Morton to win all 3.
Well, listen, and Arbroath to win all 3, but I don't think that's possible. So I think we're relatively safe in relegation. Thank God it's not a 36-game season. We'd be going down. No, that's what you're right. I'm definitely going reverse psychology. There's going to be so many tweets I tweeted back in October, November that are going to come up to bite me in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Stevie's past promotion bus has crashed and burned. It's absolutely failed its MOT.
I dread to think of your timeline.
It's just going to be. I might delete them all before this goes out, so people don't have a look. But no, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for a very nice return to the Championship show. Everyone who's watching, keep an eye out next week. A few things happening. You might see a bit more of Adam. Who knows? If we can, once he's back in the big time anyway, he'll ditch the Championship show. He'll be too big for it next season anyway.
No, that's all, mate. I'll be here. Don't you worry.
I'll need to find like a Hamilton fan for the Championship show next season. But yeah, that's us. Make sure to like, share the video out, subscribe, all that carry on, and check out Adam on Twitter and on Perth to Paisley. And
thanks, mate.
Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Hopefully after Dunfermline have won a game of football. See you later.